Hello, it's your favorite sports Unc here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. As I mentioned at the top, behind a dominant run game, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry throttled the Houston Texans by a score of 31-2. They took over first place because the Steelers lost earlier today. Right. They took over the first place in the AFC North. Lamar Jackson only had to throw the ball 10 times. He completed 10 of those for 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, while rushing for 87 yards on 4 carries, including a 48-yard touchdown run. Derrick Henry, 148 rush yards, 27 carries, and a touchdown. He had 86 yards in the first carry. Right. And so he also set a single season total touchdown record as far as running backs and receivers. Everybody. He had 16 total touchdowns, and he broke the record that he shared with Ray Rice. But the Ravens look really, really good today. They look dominant on both sides of the football, and that's what you want to see heading into the playoffs. As the season winds down, you want to start playing some of your best football, and the Baltimore Ravens are doing that.
So this is what I have a question for you now. Now, based on what we saw from Lamar Jackson today, Derrick Henry shouldered the load. Derrick Henry shouldered the whole package based on why they won the game. So as far as the MVP race is concerned, when we talked last time, you said to you, Lamar Jackson is the MVP, somewhat running away with it, especially after today's win. Is your thoughts on your MVP going to change once we see the Bills' Josh Allen play tomorrow and he puts up another unbelievable Superman performance? Or are we sticking with Lamar the next 2 games?
I think it's close, Ocho. And the thing is that the question is, if they win tomorrow, they clinch the second seed. Yes, sir. So does Josh Allen play the final game of the season? Lamar's going to play because right now they're in number 1. They're in first place in the AFC North. Right. Now, if Pittsburgh wins next week and Baltimore lose, Pittsburgh re-jumps them, and so now they're on the road for the first game instead of being at home.
Okay, let me give you a small tidbit real quick. So this weekend. Matter of fact, Saturday, the Bengals play the Broncos, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So after the Bengals beat the Broncos, the following week, the Bengals are playing the Steelers.
Yes.
And the Bengals have to win the next 2 games in order to get out of the hunt and be in the playoffs and have somewhat of a wild card.
Correct.
So
but they also got to hope the Broncos lose against Kansas City, in which Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and a lot of their starters aren't going to play because they've sold up the number 1 seed. You're not going to risk it. So now you got Kansas City that's not going to play any of their starters next week. Chris Jones is out. He missed today. So now you're looking at Kansas City. Mahomes is not playing. He's going to be in street clothes. Travis Kelce will be in street clothes. A lot of their starters will be in street clothes. Now you got to place. You only got like 8 offensive linemen. A lot of your offensive linemen got to play, Ocho.
They don't have no choice.
They got no choice. But some of your skill position, you might call up some of your practice squad guys, give them an opportunity to get a real game check in a situation like that. But you're absolutely right. Bengals have to win their last 2. Hope the Broncos lose their last 2. But they also got to hope Indy and Miami lose 1. But if Indy and Miami win out, it doesn't matter what the Bengals do. It doesn't matter what the Broncos do. So they're behind the Bengals. They're behind the Dolphins. They're behind the Colts. And they're behind the Broncos. So they need the Broncos to lose their last 2. And they need Indy and Miami to lose at least 1 while they went out.
Hey, can Ash hear me? Can Ash hear me? Ash, who does Indy last 2 games, and who are the Dolphins' last 2 games? Please tell me it's somebody that's difficult, or teams that have winning records.
I think they got Buffalo. I know probably
they got good.
No. Miami got no, but see, here's the thing. Remember, as a matter of fact, they got the Jets tomorrow. The Buffalo got the Jets and the Patriots. Miami has the Browns and the Jets.
Oh, that's not fair. Hell no, man.
And Indy got Tennessee.
Indy has Giants and Jags.
Indy has the Giants and the Jags. Where do they play? They're at the Giants, home versus the Jags. So you need a lot of things to really, really go right for you guys in order to really make the playoff. And Ocho, this is what we always say. I hated that because I've been in that situation what the Bengals are in because we didn't take care of our business early in the season. Now I got to hope and pray. Man, I'm praying somebody else lose. I'm praying this happen.
Right.
No, all you had to do was take care of what you're supposed to, and then you get to sit back and hope somebody else has to do that dirty work. I don't have to worry about that. But I think Kansas City likes where they are. They're like, look, we did what we needed to do. We went on the road and they dominated the Steelers on both sides of the football.
Yeah.
We're good. We got to buy nothing nobody else do. Now we get an opportunity to rest up. Yeah. And if you look at Ocho, the last couple of games, they look really good. This was Patrick Mahomes' best game. 3 clean games.
Easily.
He threw the ball really well. They did a great job of throwing the football because, look, against the Steelers is like you got to be convicted to run the football. You don't run the football on the Steelers on accident. You have to be committed. The word I want to be committed. You got to be committed no matter who you're playing. If you want to run the football, Ocho, it's a commitment. You look at the Ravens. That's why the Ravens, for the most part, they 1 or 2 in the league in rushing. Why?
Right.
Because they make a commitment to run the football.
No matter
when
what.
You play the Steelers, you got to double that. You have to make a double commitment. Look, guys, we know some of these plays are going to be negative. We know some of these plays are going to go for no yardage, but we've got to stick with it. And that's what the Ravens do for the most part. But if you look at when they struggle, they get away from the run game. Lamar Jackson threw the ball 15 times tonight. He completed 10. They ran the ball almost triple that, 43 rush attempts. You saw now Derrick Henry, he loves running the football against the Houston Texans. He loves it. He's had in one season, he had a game where he rushed for 211 and then followed it up on the road with a 250. I think he has 7. I think he has like 7 games where he's had over 1,500 yards rushing against the Houston Texans. So no, I don't think we should be surprised that he had the type of game against the Houston Texans. But when the Baltimore Ravens show a commitment to run the football, they're very difficult to beat. And we see how dynamic they is. And see what happened was they got up to this great running start, and you saw what the Texans tried to do. They started pinching. They started knifing. And Todd Monken said, okay, Will Anderson Jr., you want a knife?
Right.
Hey, we're going to fake it. Lamar, you keep it, and we're going to pull around. And now he hit his head on the goalpost for 48 yards away. I'm going to make you play us honest now. Now, if you want to go against what you're supposed to do and knife down in there to trap Derrick Henry in the backfield, okay. Hey, Lamar, we're going to run the same formation. We're going to give him the same design because the last time they brought Zay Flowers, he disregarded Zay. I ain't worried about you, Zay. You ain't going to do nothing.
Right.
So this time, they brought a tight end. He disregarded it. Now, you got an extra blocker up on somebody. You get a kick out, you get a pin down, and now it's your safety. Tackle him if you can.
At that point, Unc, it's all about numbers game. It's a number game at that point, you know?
Yeah.
Listen, with the Ravens playing the way they're playing, with us, common sense, and you've been preaching it all season long, anytime they run the ball a certain number of times using Derrick Henry and not allowing Lamar Jackson to be back there and be pass happy and allowing the pass plays to actually come to them and not forcing the issue, let Derrick Henry take care of everything. Obviously, the way they play the game is the old school style. It's the old school style. And the fact that it works in today's era of a pass-happy league where everybody throws the ball 100 times a game.
Yeah.
But what works for the Ravens and why they win games is doing what you've always said, week in and week out. I think, I'm a Bengal at heart. I think they have a very good chance in this being the year that Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl, and it would have to come on the onus and the shoulders of Derrick Henry and them sticking, like you said, and committing to running the ball no matter who they playing against.
And that's what you have to do, Ocho. I think the thing is that, and people are like, well, what do you mean by knifing? Is when they take the defensive end and they try to cross the guy's face. Because you see, the 2 negative runs he had, what happened? The guy knifed and they made him bounce it. So that's what I want him to do. I don't want his shoulder pass square to the line of scrimmage. I want him going parallel to the line of scrimmage because now he can't get a head of steam and he can't hurt me. If you look at when he got his yardage, he's going downhill. I don't want him going downhill. I want him going laterally. That way I can push him to the boundary. If I let him get downhill, hell, he's gonna fall for 2 yards. Now you let him get a couple of steps. Now he's gonna get 4, he's gonna get 6 yards. But Todd Monken did a great thing to counter that. He saw what they started to do to try to force the bounce. He said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get the same thing. But what we're going to do is that we're going to bring a tight end. And so now we get a kick out. We get a pin down. Now safety. And the safety is coming from depth. So he really doesn't know what to do. And before he knew it, Lamar was up on him and he took a horrible angle. So now Lamar is looking at him like, bro, what you still running for? You might as well go ahead and turn around.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is we already know Lamar Jackson is fast, but you never understand it as a defender until you sit there and you take a bad angle and you try to tackle him.
It's over.
And you fucking whiff.
Yes.
And you whiff. And before you know it, he 30, 40, some yards down the goddamn field.
And the thing is, Ocho, and when you don't make him check his feet, when you just let him get ahead of steam and he gets to go downhill, because he's already, by the time he breaks the line of scrimmage, he's like 3 or 4 yards. He's full speed. He's full speed in 3 or 4 steps. Lamar Jackson is full speed because you haven't made him check his feet.
Right. You got to. If you can't make him come to balance, and if you can't make him make some type of move to make you miss, well, your ass in trouble. Hell, if you can't make Derrick Henry shuffle his feet.
You can't make him check his feet?
Man, who wanna make that tackle? Who? You talk about making a business decision? I'm diving straight at his pinky toe.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight at his pinky toe. Hit who?
Yeah.
Man.
Ocho, we went and looked it up. Edgerrin James had the most rushing yards for a quarterback in his MVP season. He had 1,548 yards. Peyton Manning was the MVP in 2000 and 2004. Right. Peyton, that was the year that Peyton broke Dan Marino's record of 40. He threw 49. Marino had the record of 48 touchdowns in the season. Manning threw 49 that season. That's also the season he had 3 receivers catch for 1,000 yards. Yeah. He had Marvin Harrison go over 1,000. He had Reggie Wayne go over 1,000. And he had Brandon Stokely go over 1,000. Derrick Henry is almost at 1,800. And so, look, for me, I still think Lamar, and I get what the voters are going to say. The voters are going to say with Shannon, bro, he got a 1,900 yard rusher in his backfield.
But he didn't have the last time.
I'm like, huh?
He didn't have a 1,900 yard rusher when he won MVP last time, so they can't use that excuse. Don't move the goalposts.
But I'm saying, see, last time Ocho he threw 25 touchdowns. Right. He's at 39 with another game to play. So there's a great chance Lamar Jackson is going to have 40, 41, maybe even 42 touchdowns with less than 5 interceptions. Remember, he threw 5 interceptions. He was 25-5. Now he's got 43 touchdowns with 4 interceptions, and maybe I think he got 2 or 3 fumbles. So let's just say he's 43 total touchdowns with 7 or fewer turnovers. Go ahead.
Matter of fact, I'm glad you just said that about the turnover ratio. I know, and we talk about Aaron Rodgers a lot, right? We talk about Aaron Rodgers, and you wonder why he gets the opportunities he gets, why he's has the arrogance or the way he carries himself. They put up a graphic. I saw it on Twitter on his numbers and his run when he was in Green Bay.
Oh yeah, you see that? Yeah.
Oh my God, Unc! I ain't know he was like that.
Yes,
I ain't know he was like that. 25-3, 36-5.
Yeah, 45. Yeah, 45-6. Yeah.
What? Touchdown to interception ratio?
Yes.
Was stupid. It looked like some video game shit. So it gave me a better understanding. It gave me better context on why he is the way he is, but you're just not that same player.
He's not that. No,
he's not. You're not that no more. No. But God, hey, listen, I knew he was good. I understood his resume. I didn't understand it until I seen them goddamn numbers up there on goddamn Twitter.
So now, today, after today's game, Derrick Henry has 1,738 rushing yards.
Right.
Lamar Jackson is a tick below 4,000. I think he has like 39-55, 39-65, something like that, passing yards, but he has 39 passing touchdowns with 4 interceptions, and he has 850-something yards rushing with another 4 touchdowns.
You can't argue.
It's hard. It's really, really hard. I think this year, Ocho, had Mahomes had better numbers, it wouldn't even be a debate because 15-1. If Lamar Jackson had like 30 touchdowns with say like 8 interceptions, Mahomes would be the MVP.
Right.
Because think about it. They're the only team other than the Giants. They're like 3-4 teams that haven't scored at least 30 points in one game. The best of the other teams, they've won 3 games.
Yeah.
The Chiefs have yet to score 30 in a game. They're 15-1. And it's all because now those other the Raiders is one. They're looking for a quarterback. The Patriots is one. They got a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
And I forget who the other team is. So that just goes to show you just how special you got to be. Nobody else in that offense, on that team, no other quarterback in the league, not Josh Allen, not Lamar Jackson, and not Joe Burrow, would be 15-1 with that offensive line like that.
Right. Yeah.
It was bad. And today he put on the exhibition. He lets you know, he like, guys, y'all really know I'm still him.
Yeah.
I might not be having the best season, but don't y'all forget who I am.
Yeah. Listen, it all comes down to his decision making. Even when most quarterbacks would be in the situations he's had with the offensive line, the inconsistency of the offensive line, him getting battered, getting hit, at some point you get happy feet. You start doing things with the ball. Your decision making, it becomes errant because of the hits you continue to take. But they've always stuck the course, and then the creativity and the combination of having a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes and the creativity of Andy Reid as well.
Yes,
I think the combination works so well together, similar to that of Brady and goddamn Belichick. In a different sense, though. In a different sense, because Belichick was a defensive mind. But just having Mahomes and Andy Reid together is almost unfair to have all the different woes and the injuries that they've sustained and still be 15-1.
Yeah. The thing is about Andy, for Mahomes, the most part, he's only had Andy in his ear. Now, there have been times that he allowed somebody else to call, maybe EB to call plays or maybe Nagy to call plays. But Brady had Charlie Weiss in his ear. He had Bill O'Brien in his ear.
Yeah.
He had Josh McDaniel in his ear.
Yeah, I was there with Bill, yeah.
So he's had three guys in his ear. Now, the only thing that's remained the same was the head coach and the quarterback. We've had different coordinators, and the coordinators call plays. I think for the most part, what people got upset about is that they used not calling plays against EB, but they didn't hold that against Nagy. Now, Nagy did get the Bears to the playoffs, and we've seen EB go somewhere where he called the plays, kind of fell on hard times, and everybody was like, see, I told you, see? And I said it at the time. I said, EB, stay right there.
Yeah.
Stay right where you are.
Mm-hmm. But you know why he didn't now? Because for us, it's hard for us to climb that ladder. So when those opportunities present itself, sometimes you got to walk out that door.
What you think the likelihood now of Eric Bieniemy ever getting a head coaching job in the NFL?
And you know what? And that's the problem. That's the problem. Listen, I'm not going to go there. You know where I want to go, but I'm not going to there, because sometimes you could step off the front porch, and you could be abysmal. But that circle of coaches, you will get another opportunity again.
Because they're looking at it.
I'm not talking about him.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
See, stay with me now. I'm trying not to go there. But you know what I'm trying to say, but I'm not going to say it.
My thing is, Ocho, I would have stayed right there. And hell, maybe somebody give me a head coaching job out of sympathy. Mm-hmm. I ain't lying, Ocho. Maybe somebody give me a head coaching job out of sympathy. Because, Ocho, when you go at the Commanders and they get the number 2 pick in the draft because their offense is so atrocious, and you go to UCLA with a brother coach, head coach, and you get fired after 1 year because you're last, Ocho, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And so sometimes, hey, I just wait them out. Just wait them out.
Right.
Look, for me, Lamar is the MVP. I mean, I just can't overlook his numbers. I just can't, Ocho. And I know some people it'll be interesting to see what's the most losses for an MVP. And I get it, Ocho, 5 losses, and Allen has 3 losses.
Right.
Mahomes doesn't have the stats to back up. He's 15-1. Jared Goff has good numbers. He doesn't have great numbers, but they've only lost 2 games. Saquon is playing really well, but unless he had 2,000 yards right now.
Right. Yeah, he's not running back not getting that.
Oh, Lord. That was in 97?
What happened?
God. But he was sensational.
Who that?
Barry in 97, they were 9-7, but that was the year he had 2,053. And then Adrian Peterson, the year he broke the record, he was 5 yards short of the 6, 7, 8 yards short of the record. 9 yards short because he had 19. He had 2,097. So he needed 9 yards to get 2106. But he won the MVP. But then now in that situation, it's different, Ocho. Let me tell you why. You look at the quarterbacks that Barry had, and you look at the quarterback AP had. It's like it should have been unanimous.
Oh yeah,
he had Christian Ponder as his quarterback. I don't know if y'all remember Christian Ponder, but he was real good and terrible. And Barry quarterback wasn't much better.
Right. Wait, who was Barry quarterback? Scott Mitchell? Was it Scott Mitchell?
Okay. Oh, but so there is history here. The most losses for a quarterback winning MVP. Brett Favre won the MVP with 5 losses. Matt Ryan won the MVP with 5 losses. Rich Gannon won the MVP with 5 losses. So if Lamar Jackson wins the MVP, it's not like, oh, he got 5 losses. No, we've seen 3 other guys at the quarterback position win MVP with 5 losses. Right. So what I'm trying to do, Ocho, I'm trying to cover all the bases because you know it's going to come up. If he doesn't get it, they're going to give you a reason why. So I'm just trying to prepare the people. If he doesn't get the MVP, I'm telling you why some of the reasons going to start to come out. But your refute is, but they've given the MVP to other quarterbacks that didn't have this type of season, the MVP.
Right.
With 5 losses.
Right.
Running backs are different because, look, like I said, Adrian Peterson, how he got that team in the playoffs with that quarterback, how Barry did with it. But Barry was a co-MVP with Brett because Brett won 3 consecutive, 95, 96, 97. There was a co-MVP between Brett and Barry. But yeah, I like I said, for me, if I had a vote, I definitely would vote for Lamar Jackson. I just cannot overlook 39 touchdowns with 4 interceptions. Yeah. They're first place in the AFC North. The 4 rushing touchdowns with 852 yards. I can't overlook that. I know Derrick Henry's in his backfield. I know, Derrick Henry is lightening the load on Lamar. But he's still doing it.
Yeah, most definitely.
He's still doing it.
You know what's funny? And it's funny for me. Even I can separate the two. I can separate being a Bengal, playing for a franchise where obviously the enemy is the Ravens. But I can separate the two and understand the greatness that is Lamar Jackson. I can appreciate the quarterback playing, what he's been able to do since watching him in high school at Boynton High School, watching him at Louisville, and seeing how he's grown and matured into the quarterback he is today when they've always said what he couldn't do. We don't think he can be a quarterback in this NFL. We think he should try running back.
Yeah, hell no.
Just all the stuff he's had to overcome, all the obstacles and the hurdles, and to see where he's come now, I can honestly say this, and even as a Bengal, as much as I bleed that goddamn black and orange, I really hope he win the whole thing this year. I really hope he wins the whole thing this year, Unc. Not just the MVP, but goddamn it, motherfucker, get you a chip just to get him off your back. So there's nothing else they can say, Unc. Just so there's nothing else going to say. And if you have any type of documentary, if you have any type of film that talks about the start to the finish, I want the lead up to it, how it starts, to be all the negative things everybody said.
That's Ocho. People, I think the thing is when we try to explain things to people don't see, they'll take a clip, and because a lot of times people use clickbait because if they've got my face, they got our face up there, or Nightcap said something, and they frame it in a negative light. Right. They don't even listen to it. I've said I don't believe Lamar Jackson's career is a failure if he doesn't win a championship. But there've been 9 guys to win 2 MVPs. Every last one has won a Super Bowl. Guys, people say Aaron Rodgers has underachieved with 4 MVPs and 1 Super Bowl. So what do you think they're going to say about Lamar if he has 3 MVPs and no Super Bowls on his resume when he retires? If people believe Aaron Rodgers has underachieved with 4 MVPs and 1 Super Bowl, Ocho, what will people say about Lamar if he has 3 MVPs and no Super Bowls when his career is over?
It's gonna be worse.
It's a disappointment.
Yeah, it's gonna be worse. You understand that. The people understand that. Those are that you have to be able to not be a fan. Understand the politics. Understand what comes with the game when it comes to the totality and the resume and the entirety of someone's body of work. And the requirements to be to be talked about in elite.
Yes.
Groups.
Yes.
You got to win. You got to win a trophy. You got to have one. You need something. At least one of them, especially when you're as great as you are in the regular season. Which is why I can sit here and say, I really hope after winning MVP this year, I hope he goes to New Orleans and he's able to lift that goddamn Lombardi. I really do.
And that's what it comes down to, Ocho. It really does. Look, you got to take black and white out of it. I know everything. We want to make a lot of things we want about racism, but we can't do it in this situation because we have 9 guys that have won at least 2 MVPs. Every last one has won an MVP, a Super Bowl. So now we're going to say, well, if Lamar Jackson don't win, well, that's fine and dandy. No. And the reason why I don't, and many others don't hold Burrow and Josh Allen and other quarterbacks to Lamar because they don't have MVPs. Once you get an MVP, you're looked at differently.
Right.
He gets looked at like he wins a Super Bowl. He gets judged just like my homeboy. He gets judged just like Brady, just like Manning, just like all the other great quarterbacks that have multiple MVPs and a Super Bowl. Yeah. That's only right.
Hey, and you know what, Unc? You know what I think about it?
Yes.
I think about it from a different perspective. I'm looking at it through a different lens. I think about Lamar Jackson, the quarterback. Jackson, the quarterback that doesn't fit the mold.
Yes.
That all the rest of them do. The Lamar Jackson that chose not to change. The Lamar Jackson that remained his true, authentic self, especially based on where he's come from. He's still Lamar Jackson, the same Lamar Jackson from Pompano. Nothing has changed, and he's still playing the quarterback position without having to conform, staying true to himself, to who he really is.
That's what makes him.
I love that.
That's what makes him who he is. He's not a pocket passer. So why am I going to try to be Tom Brady? Why am I going to try to be Peyton Manning when I can be Lamar Jackson and win just like they won and win MVPs and get to and win the Super Bowl? They had to do it that way because they didn't have the athleticism to play outside of the pocket. Lamar Jackson has the athleticism to play outside of the pocket. He also has the ability to throw in between the tackles. But if I don't have to, why should I? Right. I don't have to prove I'm going to win this game. And sometimes I felt that he wanted to prove that he could throw the ball from the pocket and win a game to say, I told you so. Win that Super Bowl and say, all y'all 31 that passed me, even the Ravens, but I give y'all a grace because Ozzie got out. He was in the second round. He traded back up to get me. And I promised him a Super Bowl. I've delivered that, but I'm not done. So if you think I'm going to be satisfied with one, you're sadly mistaken. I'm putting everybody on notice. Now, hopefully, they bring D. Henry back. I don't know what Tennessee.
Whoa. He on a 1 year? He on a 1 year?
He on a 1 year. 1 year, $8 million.
Man, they got to bring him back. I'm not saying they got to, but understanding they
need to.
And how the business works. Right. I mean, listen, while the comb is hot, come on now, don't be no fool.
And the thing is, Ocho, as many carries as he gets the ball, he's there every week. Now, I don't know what his practice schedule is like. I don't know if they give him off Wednesday, Thursday, and just let him have some walkthroughs.
The running back always get Wednesday off now.
Hey, all I know is more times than not, he lines it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that other stuff, I don't know a whole lot of other stuff, but I know that man takes a lot of pounding, and every single week I see him dotting the I. So, Ocho, it only took Lamar 4 carries to become the all-time leading rusher in NFL history for the quarterback position. The record was 6109, held by former colleague Michael Vick. Lamar passed Michael Vick despite playing 41 fewer games. So basically, he played 2.5 seasons fewer than what Vick has played, and he broke the record.
Crazy. That's crazy. And people wouldn't understand how crazy that is and how that sounds when you understand what Vick was during his time and his.
Here's the thing, though, Ocho. It took Michael Vick 13 seasons to get to that number. Lamar's done it under 7, right? In under 7 season.
Mhm.
He's in his 7th season right now, right? Yeah, he's in 7th. Because he's right, but he's a year behind my homeboy. Because my homeboy's in 8, he's in 7th, but he started halfway through his rookie season, where my homeboy only got the 1 game. Go ahead.
I have a question too. I like the milestone that he's reached in such a short amount of time as opposed to Vic. When you think about numbers like this, right, and saying that Lamar was able to reach a milestone that took Vic a little bit longer, that took Vic a little bit longer to get to.
You count the season which he get drafted because he gonna play that year. Mahomes came in a year before. And then Mahomes won the MVP his second year, and then Lamar won the MVP his second year. Go ahead. What were you saying, Ocho?
No, I was saying when you look at the milestone that Lamar Jackson was able to reach in such a short amount of time, as opposed to Vic, who took a little longer to do it. The same thing when it comes to receivers. Receivers playing in today's game and receivers that played before them in a different era. Do you ever take into account that the game is different now?
It is.
Sense into how you're not allowed to, the physicality has been taken out of it. So I don't want to call it easy. It's a little bit easier to put up the numbers they're doing today, or you don't take that into account.
Oh yeah, well, for the quarterback, is it really easy for the quarterback to scramble? Yeah, look, I think here it is, Ocho. I think the thing is that they do protect the quarterback a lot more than say maybe even when Vic first got into the league.
Right.
It's not like, look, they protect all the quarterbacks. Now, 80s and the 90s, when I came in the league, 60s and 70s.
Oh no.
Boy, look here.
They didn't care about none of y'all well-being back then. Now.
None. If they would hit a quarterback like some of the times I saw Elway get hit, my quarterback and see some of the other quarterbacks, you get suspended 3 games. I'm talking them Joe were putting their helmet right. Oh man, they were putting their helmet right in the guy's sternum.
Right.
Drop it up. I mean, we got to the Super Bowl because Goose dropped his weight down on Rich Gannon's shoulder. Go back and look at the AFC Championship game. Broke his collarbone, separated his shoulder, something, and put him out. You can't attack the quarterback like that. But what L. Jack is doing at the quarterback position, because not only can he run, we know he's the best runner in the game.
Yeah.
Now he's a top 5 passer, and I'm not so sure he's 4 or 5. So when you look at that, when you combine, he's the best runner at the quarterback position, and he's a top 5 passer at the position.
Yeah.
How do you stop him? You hope he has an off day. Yeah. You hope you pressure him. You hope you can get a couple of turnovers here and there. And that's the way you beat the Ravens.
Try to get him off schedule. Try to get him off script. That's the best thing you can do. But the problem is, if you pressure him and you get out the back door,
you better not run past him now.
Then you're assed out.
Yeah, you better not jump. Hey, once you get even, you see him, Ocho, he back here. Once you get here, you better level off.
Yeah, and
you run past it.
Stop and be under control. Hey, it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to be out there and goddamn be able to do it.
Absolutely. What we do have to factor in that Michael Vick went away. He did go to federal prison for 23 months. I think he was out of the league for like 2 or 3 years. And so the record would look, I'm not saying Lamar wouldn't have this record eventually, but I do believe Michael Vick would have had more rush yards than what he had, because when he came back, he was still, but he wasn't the Michael Vick experience Vick.
Right.
He wasn't Atlanta Vick. Yeah, he was a better thrower of the football in Philly. But that guy on that turf in Atlanta,
it was
Lord
different.
have mercy.